Hello guys, in this video I'm gonna discuss the next non-standard XSS attack. It's gonna be an XSS attack via AngularJS template injection. AngularJS is a client-side framework that implements MVC. The more you know about the client-side frameworks used in modern web applications, the more bugs you can find, and this is a perfect example that is illustrating this idea. So let me now show you how this attack works. First, I'm gonna present a story, and the story is like this. Let's assume that your XSS payload is reflected in response. And let's assume that your payload is double curly brackets and inside 4-1. You can say that this is quite a strange payload, but if you've got some kind of experience in AngularJS, it's not that strange. But for people who are testing for classical XSS attacks, this is very strange, okay? But let's assume that you've got a payload like this. Then you've got two options. You can either see exactly the same in response, so double curly brackets and 4-1 inside. And when you see something like this, then it means that everything is fine from a security point of view here. Or you can see just 3 in response, and it indicates that definitely something is wrong here, and that the so-called AngularJS template injection is possible. Let me now tell you a little bit more about this. Well, 3 is the result of 4-1, right? And what you can do in AngularJS, you can put expression in between double curly brackets. And if this expression is evaluated and you see the result of this evaluation, like 3 is 4-1, right? Then it basically means that AngularJS template injection is possible. This is how it works, right? So it's quite simple to do this kind of testing. But now you know at this point that AngularJS template injection is possible, but the question is how to launch an XSS via AngularJS template injection, which is quite a different story, right? And now I'm gonna give you an answer. Here is your payload. So constructor alert XSS, you see some round brackets, you see some double curly brackets, right? On the left side, on the right side. But this is how it works. You don't have to go into the details of this payload. It will just work, provided that, of course, AngularJS template injection is possible. And this payload works for AngularJS versions greater than or equal to 1.6.0, so the most up-to-date ones, right? And if your version of AngularJS is smaller than 1.6.0, then I recommend you to go to this URL and you will find there the payloads, the XSS payloads for older AngularJS versions, right? So basically this is it. First, you have to check if AngularJS template injection is possible, and then if this is possible, you have to answer the question, what is your version of AngularJS? And for most up-to-date AngularJS versions, you've got a payload on this slide. For older AngularJS, you need to go to this URL and you will find the payload that you need. And basically, this is how it works. And now it's time to jump to the demo. And now it's time to show you how it works in practice. But before I do this, I just want to emphasize one thing. If you do classical testing for XSSs, you will never provide a payload like double curly brackets 4-1. It doesn't make much sense, right? If you are not familiar with AngularJS, with AngularJS template injection, it doesn't make any kind of sense to use this kind of payload, because if you don't understand this AngularJS context, then it doesn't make sense, right? So you see how important it is to be really familiar with the frameworks that are used heavily in modern web applications, right? And the more you know about these frameworks, the more bugs you can find. And this is really a great example. So without further delay, let me jump to the demo and let me show you how this attack works in practice.